2025 was a spectacular year for anime. I could probably say that there's like at least 10 to 15 shows that are worth watching out of the year, but I'm probably just gonna list off the couple that I really enjoyed the most. Okay, my first pick is Dandadan season 2. Now I love Dandadan, it is no secret. Dandadan is probably my favorite new gen anime. Now the reason I like it so much is because it's such a fun story, yet deep, yet wholesome, yet educational, yet chaotic and psychological. I just love how they can mix so much genres into one show, and as a series it's developing in a way similarly compared to One Piece, I must say, in a sense that these first 2 seasons all they did was just introduce and letting us grow with our characters, and it's steadily unraveling a plot that I just don't think that we truly understand how deep or layered it is so far. There's so much cool character dynamic with their crazy wacky personalities that either go hand in hand or clash. Whether you want something that is funny, whether you want something that is romantic and heartfelt, whether you just want something that is chill to put on in the background, Dandadan can hit all the right marks for what you want to see, and I think you should watch this show. Now second on my list I got To Be Hero X. Now To Be Hero X in my opinion is probably the most underrated shonen anime, and the reason I say this is because it delivered on such quality and uniqueness that we have not seen from a shonen, and I do believe that it deserves mainstream hype. In this show To Be Hero X, there is not one main character. There are several characters, and these heroes are all competing for top rankings. So there's this ranking system for heroes, and basically depending on where you are ranked is how strong you are. Not to get too deep into the power system, but it's super cool involving the fans. But in a way it's like with every character that we get introduced to, they develop them meaningfully enough for us to want to either root for them or to dislike them. And in a way, all these characters are fighting for the #1 spot, setting up this huge tournament between these cool ass characters. And it's not just cool action fights, but there's a lot of like character development and growth behind it that I think is very underrated and it's worth the watch. It'll gain its hype for sure. So third that I got on my list is The Apothecary Diaries. Now this is more on the romantic, mystery, historical side of things, introducing a female main character who basically gets kidnapped and forced to work as a servant in the Imperial Palace. And within the palace, something happens in which she problem solves a mystery, and now being recognized for her mystery solving skills, she becomes a more important piece in the Imperial Palace. I feel like it's such a fun watch or intriguing watch to see Mao Mao as a main character basically solve these mysteries, where with a lack of information it'll make you think one way, but when she actually breaks it down it's as simple as it can be. And not to mention the love interest is very cute. If you need something chill, more on the wholesome romantic side, still interesting in the way that there's mysteries to be solved, there was a reason why this show for 2024 was nominated for Anime of the Year. It keeps up the same pacing in which I think makes it good and is worth the watch. Now for my fourth on my list, this was my utmost favorite watch of 2025, and it just hands down has to be Chainsaw Man Reze arc movie. I've read this arc years ago in the manga and I remember how much I loved it, but seeing it in theaters, man, they did it so much more justice than I could have ever imagined. As much as I can hype it up, I just want to say it's just a simple coming of age story for two love interests. So it's nothing groundbreaking at all, but the storytelling gets executed in a way is such a masterpiece, knowing what Chainsaw Man is truly about. Adding that little sprinkle of romance mixed with shonen does such justice. Seeing Denji as the main character battle himself with wanting to understand his own self and his own heart while trying to put trust in these other females showing interest in him. It's such a very relatable and connecting movie to watch. Maybe we can all relate into wanting to understand ourselves and also putting trust into others because we're hoping that they also understand us as well. This is something that I seen in theaters and I still immediately rewatched when it came out online. Words cannot describe how much I loved watching this film. So if you have not seen it, I would highly recommend to go check that out. Fifth on my list is a tear jerker, and this is Takepi's Original Sin. Try not to cry challenge has activated. On the surface level, you can go into it thinking that it's going to be happy and wholesome, but as soon as you get done with this first episode, you would understand quickly that this is not the case at all. And it's basically about this alien that goes to Earth, and this alien's mission is to bring happiness to people. But this alien just has the unfortunate event of meeting the most depressing kids on Earth, which basically starts affecting the alien as the alien is trying to help these kids. But then we're also seeing these kids and how they are interpreting their lives with wanting to be happy themselves, although their life in a way is not happy whatsoever. It's such a deep emotional story, can leave you empty in the sense of understanding that life isn't so happy, but what can make it happy is what we do with what life gives us. And that simple message just hits extremely impactful from this 5 to 6 episode anime, just because of how emotionally deep it gets, watching these kids just wanting to be happy and this alien losing its own happiness and becoming unhappy because of these kids. Man, this was an interesting story, and it is very highly rated on IMDb for a reason, and I think you should go check it out, and it'll probably have you crying by the end. This is the one to watch from 2025. Next I got is Devil May Cry. Now this is a popular video game franchise that they just released an animated show for, and I think that I'm a fan. What I like about this show is just the main character and his lore. Basically, we get introduced into a situation where he has to figure some things out, but along with figuring some things out, it's kind of as if like we're learning things about him that are kind of adding or making sense to where he's at. And overall, this is just a little slight fun action, so I wouldn't say it's too compelling or has a lot of depth, although just in terms of a plain enjoyable entertaining shonen to watch, yes, I think this was very entertaining. If you are a fan of the Devil May Cry video game series, then it is definitely worth the watch, as I think they did this series justice in just displaying how cool of a character Dante really is. Next on my list, if I put Chainsaw Man Reze movie arc on here, I gotta also put Demon Slayer. The reason why I just gotta put Demon Slayer is because Demon Slayer just broke so much barriers when it comes to animated movies, and without saying too much, it's just a spectacle of a film to go see. And I will say that there's not too much of a story, but that wasn't what we were watching the movie for. We already knew what the plot and story was throughout watching Demon Slayer as a series the whole time. So now when it's coming to this final battle, I think it really delivered on what we wanted to see, which is just pure fights along with the traditional backstory, along with the bang outs. 2 hours plus of just pure cinematic action that'll just have you not wanting to blink. It is just so much fun and enjoyable to watch that the only bad thing about it is that we have to wait for the other parts to come out because it doesn't end there. Last on my list, now I think this is a personal curveball because I think I probably could have put any other show and have decent reasonings as to why any other show could have made this list. But this last pick specifically surprised me in a way that I never thought it could. Fujimoto's 17 to 26. Now this is the author of Chainsaw Man, and this adaptation was stories that he compiled from his age of 17 to 26. So it's a season of these short stories for every episode. When I tell you, every short story within the show for some reason felt impactful to me. Not impactful in the sense that it's changing my life, but in the sense that the simple message told by the author just gets executed with great significance to the point where it's like, wow, how is he able to conjure up such a simple message in such a creative way? What type of creativity must you have coming out of your brain to write and draw such short stories that can connect or hit exponentially more than dare I say it, a longer pacing show? It's such a fever dream, simple yet significant. But without further ado, yeah, I think these are all the shows that I would recommend you watching if you haven't from the year 2025. And I just want to say, every year for anime gets better. Like for 2026, we are already projected to be heading into a great ass year. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, at least if you are not caught up on every show, if you have the time, just try and go back to certain years, 2024, 2025, and just see which shows came out the best for the years. That's generally what I used to do, and is why I'm bringing my own video to the field now, because yeah, we gotta appreciate the year round of anime that we keep on getting, man, in my opinion. But I think that's enough for me. If you guys are still tuned in and listening, I appreciate you. You guys already know what it be. You guys know it's the guy that's me. Thank you for tuning into this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.